Greetings, class. I wanted to take just a few minutes to discuss the review matrix with you. The review matrix is a tool for organizing the literature. The matrix will help to make order out of chaos because I think it's probably certain that you have an abundance of articles in front of you. You will abstract elements from each journal article and place into the matrix. Now, I have created a matrix with standard or typical headings you would find across the literature, but you may individualize the table headings. If there is a topic you believe is relevant to your work, then it is acceptable for you to add a column and or delete a column. So for example, perhaps you thought it would be wise to identify how a particular concept was defined across different studies. Then you might add a column titled Conceptual Definition. The literature review matrix should work for you. It is acceptable to keep your matrix concise and to avoid complete sentences. At the same time, some individuals may prefer to include more detail within their matrix. This matrix, again, will not become part of your scholarly project. It is just a method to help you organize the literature as you look forward to writing that review. Uh, Again, decide what works best for you. Across the matrix, I would recommend you include the sample size for each study. You might find it beneficial to include sample characteristics as well. I would encourage you to record the level of evidence and strengths and weaknesses. Your analysis will help determine whether you include the article in your review. Remember, the strength cannot be determined solely by design. We must carefully look at the study because we know we could have a randomized controlled trial, for example, with weaknesses such as a small sample size. And this explains why over the past couple of weeks we've spent some time completing critiques. Now, we don't necessarily want to include every article in the matrix that we have before us. Include those articles that are most pertinent, and then if you identify more weaknesses than strengths and you decide this article may not be one that you want to include in your review, you may choose then to omit it later on. You will find that most researchers, if they're completing a matrix, they will complete it chronologically. So they will look at the year of publication. Other authors might create their matrix and group like articles together. So that is another method. Typically, once the literature review matrix is complete, we would look and identify what stands out. So perhaps the majority of studies included older adults, the majority of studies only included persons who were Caucasian. Did the majority of studies use one particular measure for a concept? When we can find these comparisons, then when we write our literature review, then it will become more manageable to use phrases such as similarly, on the other hand, etc. Now, you will need to make judgments on the articles included in your literature review matrix. It is impossible to remove all subjectivity, but you'll have to explore each study and evaluate whether or not it was conducted in a careful enough manner for you to include in your review. When we think about articles to include in our matrix, and then more specifically our review, we need to think about how far we want to branch out. Sometimes this is best explained through an example. So let's say, for example, I was interested in studying among hospitalized patients, how does a quiet time protocol affect patient satisfaction with care? Well, it's clear that we would likely want to collect articles that looked at quiet time protocols as well as satisfaction with care. But I would also probably want to begin my literature review with perhaps research on the significance of sleep, the negative consequences of insufficient sleep, and more. For now, I would encourage you to take some time to work on your literature review matrix and to integrate the articles you believe are valuable through a careful analysis. The matrix is something that you will work on throughout the project process. It is not something that you need to have complete today or tomorrow. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.